Hi, everyone. Are you looking for a job during this pandemic? Well, it is certainly a challenging time for all of us. Well, we recently had a chance to talk to Karen Parker. She's a 20-year HR professional who has been working with Bowie Youth and Family Services in advising young people on job skills and resume skills. We recently talked to her about how to navigate this market. What should you be looking for? We think that these tips are helpful to anyone looking for a job right now. Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do for students at Bowie High School?
Well, I've been a volunteer since about 2012 when my own daughter was a student there. And I help students with their resume, interviewing skills. I've hosted a job fair for graduating seniors for the past 4 or 5 years. So it's a way to get students acclimated to the real world after high school graduation.
Are employers still hiring during this pandemic?
Yes, they are. It's basically business as usual. I have many, many friends who are recruiters. They are working remotely during this time, but they are reviewing resumes. They are setting up virtual interviews, and they are preparing that when things open up, that they will still have positions to fill.
Yeah, and how can someone who is looking for a job, we've been taught with the interview skills, that firm handshake, that dressing, putting on a tie, walking in with a smile, all of that is a little bit different now. So, how do you prepare for a virtual interview?
Great question, Sonia. Basically, you want to treat the interview as you would an in-person interview, but there are a few different things you might want to keep in mind. One, it is virtual, so you want to make sure that you have a strong internet connection, so you avoid a lot of internet buffering. You also want to be aware of your surroundings because it is a video interview. But you do want to dress the way you would in a real person interview. You want to smile. You do want to make eye contact into the camera. You want to be aware of the company as far as making sure you've done your research. What type of work do they do? You want to know about the industry. You want to have questions prepared just like you would for a regular interview. And you just want to make sure you know more about the job, what the requirements are, just like you would in an in-person interview.
Yeah, and Karen, are there websites that folks can go on to look for these jobs?
Yes, well, one of the number one website right now for jobs is Indeed.com, www.indeed.com. But other websites might focus more on your industry. So, for example, my background is HR, and the professional association for that industry is SHRM, shrm.org. So, a lot of HR jobs will be posted on that website. So, depending on your industry, whether it's finance, accounting, government, you want to focus on those websites that might have the type of jobs that you're seeking.
So, Karen, besides Indeed, is there another website that folks can go on?
Yes, I would highly recommend LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a social professional website, and what you can do is connect to your current colleagues and previous colleagues. You can connect to maybe some alumni from your high school or your college. It's a best way to build your network virtually.
You will probably have to adapt to possibly a new position, things that you've been doing for years. That industry might not be hiring right now, so maybe trying something new. Is that something you recommend?
Yes, yes. And I would focus on those skills that are transferable. So, for example, I heard on the news today that a lot of positions in the travel industry will probably be going away or maybe might not be at the same level for maybe 6 to 12 to 18 months. So, for this example, what skills did you use in your current job right now that could transfer over to a new industry?
So, Karen, in this particular situation, do you recommend people do anything different with their resume?
Yes, I do. Basically, a lot of people are not aware that when you apply for a position, you should really tailor your resume to that position. A lot of people do not know this. They have a generic resume that they apply to 20 different jobs and they wonder why they're not getting a call back. So for example, if a person is looking for a trainer or facilitator position, they need to tweak their resume with the keywords. So for example, if I'm a trainer and my resume says I'm looking for a training position, but the jobs I'm applying to say facilitator, you need to tweak your resume and use those keywords that say facilitator. And that's how you're going to get your resume noticed by the recruiter, by the keywords.
Yeah, and one of those keywords should not be a email address that is not professional, right? You say have a
Exactly. Yes, yes. So that's another thing about resumes. You want to make sure you're presenting yourself. Your resume is a representation of yourself. So you want to make sure you have a professional email address, which is usually your first name, last name, and say, for example, at gmail.com. You want to put your cell number on there. A lot of people now are getting away from having their address just for security reasons. So I would recommend not really adding your address anymore, but you might want to put, the DMV area. You might want to say you're seeking positions in DC, Maryland, Virginia. Also, I want to mention that when you're looking for work, you want to really use your network. At this critical time in history, your network is so, so valuable. And what does that mean? You want to let everyone that you know you're looking for a new position.
And we should also mention that Bowie Youth and Family Services has a virtual job fair that is on their website, which you can visit, and they have employers and folks that are looking for a job, they can come together, and it's really a great, great source if you're looking for something in this local area. Karen, thank you so much for being here with us. If you're between the ages of 16 and 24, you're invited to participate in the City of Bowie's virtual job fair, where you can find links to companies that are hiring now, even in the midst of this health emergency. If you're older than 24, we encourage you to visit employpg.org for more job seeker resources.